All right then. So the floor is all yours, Mr. Timi.
Okay, so GM guys, and thanks for having me again here. And for those who don't know me, Timi, a product and interaction designer. And today I will be diving into something that makes design feel alive, and which is motion and interaction. And let me share my screen. So I have a little slide for guide. Okay, sorry guys.
I been they talk since so. Is anybody hearing me now? Oh boy,
Now
not
Yeah,
lie,
yeah,
oh guys, it's not
I
that
can
I'm
hear
hearing you.
you. So, yeah, so can you guys see my screen? Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. So, uh, as I was saying, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to be telling you guys how micro interactions affect our designs, and and let's be real. Design isn't just about how things look. It's about how they feel. That and they feel when we interact with anything in our product, in our interface, and that's where micro interaction comes in actually. And so we asked that what is micro interaction? So micro interactions are those tiny moments in our products that makes people smile or feel guided, or just trying to understand what's going on that platform. So, and we will have examples. If you guys play Duolingo a lot, if you finish a session with Duolingo, it's going to give you a feedback or a victory sound or something like that to tell you that okay, you are doing well or you are not doing well. So those tiny things that gives us that feedback are micro interactions. Those are the things that makes our interface more enjoyable, or that gives users more guide that okay, this is what you want to achieve, right? So this is how you do it. So, and that's what we'll be diving in. And why should we care as a designer? Why should we care about micro interactions as a designer? And micro interactions is it gives us feedbacks. It allows us to give our users feedback. Like let's think of it as if yeah, let's think of a product as a person. If that your product is like a person, and micro interaction is just like the body language that says okay, you want to send money, right? Click on this button, and when you click on it, it gives you feedback that okay, yeah, send it. Like you can send what you want to send, or maybe you want to like a picture like Instagram, for example. If you double click on the content on Instagram, it's going to give you a feedback of love emoji that okay, you've liked this content. So those, if we think of it, you see that all those little interactions, they are not a big animations actually. They are there to guide us, to make our products feel human, like to make us feel more comfortable using that product, and we actually know what we are actually doing on that product, on that interface. So that is, I think that is why we should care about micro interactions. They are tiny but very essential, because if we look at it from our own point of view, from design point of view, we know that every time we design, we still need more, like we still need more emphasis on our designs, most especially when we want our flows to be more easier for users. Like we don't want them to think of okay, what next for me to press, what next for me to take me to my next destination. And once we start putting that in back of our mind that we need micro interactions for our our product to be more useful and guide users, not to overwhelm them. And that's where Rive comes to play, because Rive is like a bridge. Sorry, guys. So if you look at it, yeah, as a designers, we are limited. Sorry to say, like a little limited, because we design in Figma, and if you are a little aware, if you know about Framer, you put type your design in Framer. But that is where I think when it comes to micro interactions, or you want to add motions to your designs, it's more difficult because you have to rely on your developer to bring your animations to life. With maybe you even try to generate Illustrator, but you try to explain for the developer, this is how you want this thing to move, or who is what you are trying to achieve with your design. And or we even skip it sometimes sef, like just leave illustration like that, just static, and it limits us to what we can do with our designs. And I think that's where Rive comes to play, because with Rive you can design, you can animate, and you can add logic to your product, to your interactions or your icons, or you can actually do anything that you are not limited. So Rive give you that control over your ideas, or your creativity about how you want your micro interactions to communicate with your users. And so why use Rive? I think I've said it actually, but that's it. You have to use Rive because it gives you that cross platform. It's easy to use, and not even apart from that, like you can, how am I going to put it? You it gives you that access to your creativity. I've explained this earlier actually. So I'm just going to show you guys uh I'm going to show you guys around Rive and how it works. And I hope you guys will gain little about what I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys how I make this button interactive, and I'm going to show you guys around how the tools, the stuffs as a. Let me just get rid of this one so you guys can see the whole thing. So I'm going to go to the animation side, and so this is what we are going to be doing. I'm going to show you guys over states, and when I click, it loads. And so the other part is going to be from the back end. Maybe you want to pay, and your paying process is loading, and once is processed in the back end, then it shows you that it's paid, and it go back to I do. So that's just like I made this I made put I joined, how am I going to put it, like I joined the whole interactions of you having like multiple interface, like multiple screens of, okay, it's loading now, it's you are trying to pay now. So I added everything in one button, and it's interactive, like it communicates that, okay, this thing is loading, it has paid. Even if it's error, I can add that to it too. You can add error, like not unsuccessful, and you can try again. So that's the power of Rive. And this thing now, I can easily implement it to my interface, to my design. So before we jump into it, I would like to show you guys around. And so this is our toolbar, where you can access most of these things are in Figma, if you are familiar with Figma. So we have we have layout, we have artboard, we have layout, we have row, column. All these things are mostly in Rive too. And we have pen tool, and we have our procedural shapes like rectangle, ellipse, and so on. We have text, and we have bone and weight, and these are for animators. Like this won't be new to them. So bones and weight, and we have events, we have joysticks, and all these event and joysticks are like um they're like a network that you tell that, okay, I want you to jump to this when this happens. So, but we will get to that, but not in this video, and not in this tutorial. So, uh, this is our panel. This panel is where we organize um our elements, our designs. So, and this is where we create, our creativity comes to life. And so this is where we have our artboard. So and here is where we have, let me click on this is where we have um our how am I going to put it, our positions, scales, and all those informations that you need about your designs or your elements. So this is where you can access them. And we have our design mode and our animation mode. So our animate mode, so we have animation mode and we have timeline. So these are timelines, and this is state machine. This is where the magic happens. Actually, this is where we tell when our animations to play or not to play, or what to play when we interact with it. And it has inputs where we connect, like where we connect our we these inputs are the ones that control our animations, like controls our transitions. So, and we have listeners. Listeners are when I was hovering on it, that makes my mouse to interact with our elements. And these things will still work on your web. Like the way it works here, that's the way it's going to work. So you don't even need to start worrying about if the over or click or stuff happens. So that is basically it. And I'd like to show you guys how I did this app. So I'm just going to duplicate this one, and I designed this icon, this button in Rive, in Framer. So I said in Framer, sorry, in Figma. Sorry about that, guys. So I don't know if I have it here. Maybe this it's not here, but actually I designed it in Figma. So you can design your stuffs and import it here. So this is where I imported them. So you can just import your your elements. You can design them in Figma and import them to Rive easily. Just need to let me show you guys. So let me show you guys how I did it. So let me say I want to export our logo. I'm just going to right click and copy as SVG. Simple as that. If you see this message, copy as SVG, you can come to your Rive, um and just Control V, and it's going to paste it. It's going to paste it here. You guys can see it's loading and it's ready. So I have my, if I want to animate it now, I can make anything happen. So as simple as that. That's what I just did. I just export it in and good to go. So I'm going to get rid of everything I've done here, or let me just start from scratch. Let me just take this out. So I'm going to steal this icon. Okay.
Yeah, Alpha, Timi, I have a question.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so if you
What if what if you copy the picture? You copy that this field.
Sorry, can you come again?
The stuff you copied on Figma. What if it was a picture? If you copy it as SVG, this you
If you copy a picture as SVG,
a
it's going
picture
to
from
it's still going to
yes
show.
from Figma.
But the thing is, you cannot you can use raster, like it's going to be on the raster. You say na raster. Na raster that they collab now, damn it. So it's to be on raster, not vector. So you have just a limit, you be limited to the kind of animation you can do with image. But if your elements are on vector, is vectorized, you can turn it to another thing. You can switch it, you can, so it gives you broad, like it makes you create more. But images is going to, you can just make it move a bit or something like that, sha. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You can animate images too on Rive, and it will work on your interface as well. So I'll go back to what we are here for. So what's this? Let me just use what we have before so I don't waste time. So I'm just going to explain how I arrange it, because that is very important, and I wish I can just show you guys. So I need to organize everything the way I want my animations to come in or to work. So what I did here, I'm just going to, let me just, okay, I think this is what I'll do. I'm just going to ungroup everything so I can regroup everything. Let me just ungroup everything. So I'm upgrouping everything with Control Shift G. And if I want to group it too, I'll just use Control G. So, this is fine. So this is our background. That's the button, and I named it as our background layer. And we have paid. This is the one that's going to come in later when the transaction is successful. And we have pay now, and this is another. I grouped everything because I want they have to be together, and I can it does, because if everything is disorganized, if I want to animate it, it's going to give me headache, a lot of headache, to start finding where the icon is or where the pay now text is. So that's why at first, before you jump to animation, you have to organize how you want your animations to be. So I have to group these two together because they are going to be inside our, I'm going to clip them inside our button, inside our background layer. And reason why okay, so this is going to be our content. Let's call it our content layer. And I'm going to clip it to this one. Reason why is because I don't want this to show, and I want I want everything to be inside the button, so I can, you guys will not see the behind magic, or people will don't know what's going on behind the scene. So I'm going to group everything together and call it button. Call it button. So I'm going to clip. So this is our clip. This clip. If I clip it to, it's going to bring out this stuff actually. So it asks you to choose a source, like to choose a shape or anything that you want to clip this element to. So I'm going to choose our background layer. So you guys can see that we can't see that paid any longer. And same as this too. If I drag it down, you guys will not see it. So that's done. And there's one thing too that I want to show you guys, and this icon, how I made this icon disappeared. So I made this icon disappeared because I made it a stroke. And in Rive, if you make your element a stroke, or if you are animating a stroke, you can make it a trim part. Like, you guys will see what I'm trying to say. You guys can see how I'm controlling um my stuff, my icon. So that is if it's in trim part. If it's in stroke, you can do that. And we have an option. You can make it a sequence. Sequence is going to be going from one by one. Everything is going to be happening one by one. Like, it's going to start from the round. I mean, so it's going to start and like that, like that. But if it's in synced, everything is going to everything is going to be happening at once. And this is what I want for this animation. I want everything to happen at once. So that is how I achieve that with trim part. We have dash, we have solid, and that's that for that. Let's change the color to this. So that is how I achieve that. So let's just jump into the animation straight up. So I'm going to get rid of these ones. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Should have done this. So yeah, now we need a timeline. Now we need like 4 states. Actually, we need like 4 states to make our pay now to load to get paid and go back to idle. So the first one we have is over. Let's have over first. And what I'm just going to be animating on this over is I'm going to animate the background layer. I'm just going to change the color a bit, just just a little. So you guys will see a diamond, like a diamond icon behind um every unit, like everything that you can. So this diamond icons is um it's telling us that, okay, I can animate this size, I can animate this origin, I can animate this corner, I can. So anything that makes me key any of these things, that means I want to animate them. And if I make a changes, it's going to affect our button. So I'm only trying to tamper with our color. So I'm just going to change the color a bit to something like this. Just is okay. And I'm going to tamper with our dollar icon as well. I'm going to increase the scale to maybe like 105, just to show that, okay, this button is active. So I think this is fine. So that's the only thing that we are doing on here. Yeah, just so I'm just going to duplicate this, or I just create another timeline. I'm going to create another timeline and call this I do. So idle is like it's going to maintain how our button should look like until users or we interact with it. So I'm just going to key in all the stuff that I key here. Just I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So all I'm just going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one. Just going to I'm going to key in our original color, the normal color that we have. And this one, I'm going to take it back to 100. That's all. So we have over and idle, over and idle. So now we need um loading state. So when the users click on it, it start loading. So I'm going to call this loading. Let's just bring it down here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to copy what we have here in over, because we will be starting, like as I've said earlier, you have to have a plan of how you want your animations to work so that you don't get overwhelmed. So from over, when it's not possible for you to click outside the button, so you have to click after you are hovering. So you start from over. So I'm going to use the same stuff that we use with over. I'm just going to copy it here, but this time I'm going to take out the pay. So I'm going to take this out. So as I took it out here, I have to key it in here. Like I have to key in the position here, because if I don't do that, it's going to, since I took it out, if I connected it in state machine, this is what it's going to be. And we don't want that. So I'm going to come to I do and key in the position, because I've tampered with the position. So it has to be reported to I do, because that's where we want our animations to start first. So if you don't want anything to interrupt, if you tamper with any skills or any element, you have to report it to your idol. And that is important. So that's why I'm repeating it. So and you can also report it to, but I'm not sure it's necessary, but just to be in a safer place, just report it back to your animations if you tamper with any number. So I'm going to drag this one to the middle. I'm going to drag it to the middle. Just going to increase. I'm going to increase the. I'm going to increase the scale to like maybe 120 or 130. 130 and 130 is fine. So I think this is we can use this. So and one more thing. Now that I've tampered with the scales here, because I want it to roll, and if I want this thing to start turning, I have to tamper with this scale again for it to start rotating. And to achieve that, so that's why I have another group here that I can tamper with the scale. So if like let me put like a scenario, like maybe how am I going to put this thing so that you guys can know how important this is? Because if you have an element that you want to animate, and you want to animate the maybe you want to animate it moving from point A to point B, and also you want it to, while moving, you still want to tamper with the movement. So if you want to tamper with the movement, you have to have like two layers, like you have to have like two groups, so that one can undo the movement and the other one can undo the other stuff that you want, or something like that. So you can just have like three groups, and they all carried you all tamper with their elements here. So I'm going to be tampering with, I have two groups here. So I'm going to be tampering with the second group because I want to rotate it, and I can achieve rotation with scale if I'm going to uncheck that. And if I, you guys will see what I'm trying to say now. So if I come here, if I come to the last frame and change this from minus 100%, from 100% to minus 100%, it's going to twist it to the other side. So we have something like this. We have something like this, and that's it. And we have something like this. So, but I'm just going to make this loop. So these icons that we see here is just additional to our animations. So we have, if you want your animations to have only one shot, like you just want it to play once, that's what one shot is for. And loop, it keeps on looping, like it keeps on playing. And pick pong, it plays back and forth. And we have work area. Work area is like you only want, like you only, like maybe you want to offset, but that this video is not for that. But if you want to offset your animations, you want it to, you don't want everything to be linear, so you can use work area to achieve that. So I'm going to make this one better because this, you guys can see, is jumping. It's jumping, it has a glitch, and that's not fine. So I'm going to bring this one here, and I'm going to copy our first frame to the last frame. So this means that I'm giving this stuff to, I'm telling it that you can move from minus 100, you can move from 100 to minus 100 back to 100. So this way, when it go back to 100 here, it does not glitch because this is 100 as well. So that's why we have this, and this is better. So, and we can make this better through interpolations. So if I add cubic interpolation, it's going to give it that realistic movement, and you guys will see what I'm trying to say. You guys can tell that this is different from what we have with this. This one is moving like in a normal speed. Nothing moves like that. Like nothing moves in the normal speed. But if I add stupid interpolation, it starts slow and go faster in the middle and start fast again. I don't know if you guys see what I'm trying to do. Let me add interpolation to everything. You guys can see about it. Or maybe if you guys can understand what I'm trying to say, please let me know. So, or maybe I should give more example. Can you guys understand what I'm trying to say about the interpolation? Because it's going to really affect your animations and make your animations feel alive. So let me just show you guys a bit of what I'm trying to explain. So just have let me go back to design mode so I can create some, like, okay, let's just have this. So let me say we have this, moves from this place to here. You guys can see it moves like just move linearly, like it moves like nothing is interrupting it. But if I add interpolation to it, if I add interpolation the movement will be different. You guys can see, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like the movement will be different. And this looks more realistic. It looks like it doesn't just start like a robot. Even robots will take time before it turn. So we can still make it better. Like if I wanted to like maybe slow a bit, you guys can see this line. This line is what did they call it in animations? They call it in betweens also, something like that. Like so, Rives creates our in betweens for us, and those in betweens are the ones that tells that okay, we want it to start slow and fast in the middle and stop slow in the end. So I think this is just the representation of that. So you guys can see that in the middle there is a lot of gap, and at the end there is a lot of dot, and at the beginning it's a lot of dot. So if I adjust the interpolation, you guys can see now is going to start very slow, fast at the middle, and slow at the end a bit, something like this. But this thing is steady. Like you have to keep on practicing to get exactly how you want your animations to feel, or to to feel like or interact, give feedback to your users, because this is where the magic they always pop up actually. So that's why I need to show you guys the magic of interpolation. Let's just go back to why we are here. And so we can just go with this, but I can still make it more. Let me just save. I think this is better. Just going to this and just go with this. So we have we have our load. We have our load state. So now we need our feed. So I'm going to call this feed. Feed. I'm going to drag to. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did. I'm going to copy our first keys in loading and paste it here, just like that. So what we are going to do is I want this to disappear before it shows paid. So and I've shown you guys how I achieve this. So all I just need to do is come here and go to the trim part, and I'm just going to key in our end and maybe go to 20 frames and take it out to 0%, and we have this. So we have this. So once I take down that coin out, I'm going to bring in the page. So I'm going to key in the Y position. The Y position, which is the chain horizontal, yes. I've been a vertical. So I'm going to drag, I'm going to come to, sorry, I'm just going to key in here where the stuff disappear, our icon disappear. I'm going to come to somewhere here. I'm going to drag it in. And it's just going to put it in the middle. I'm going to put it in the middle, and we have something like this. And I don't want that icon to show immediately I popped it out. I want it to mark. So I achieved that with the same way I did for I disappeared the icon, the dollar icon. So I'm just going to come here. I've already added trim interpolation. Not trim interpolation, please. I've already added trim. I've already activate our trim part for it. So I'm just going to take the start off. I'm going to put it at 0%. Not here, maybe somewhere here. I'm going to, yeah, somewhere here. And just going to, I'm going to come to like maybe somewhere here and put it to 100. And you have something like this. Yeah, you have something like this. Okay, so immediately it shows. I would like it to disappear, but so for it not just to come and disappear, we have to delay it a bit. But we are out of frame. So I'm just going to come here and add more duration to our timeline. So I'm going to add like maybe three more seconds. I'm going to add more 3 more seconds to our timeline, and I'm going to delay. Just going to delay. Going to give it a delay. So how to give it a delay is I'm going to copy the key that drags this thing up, which is this one, I'm going to copy and paste again. Maybe I'm going to come to like somewhere here, copy the key, copy and paste. So now it gives it holds it before I can, it holds it a bit. So I'll come to somewhere here and drag it back. Like I'm going to copy this key, copy and paste. So to drag it back in. So we have something like this. But that is too fast. Like it happens so fast. So what I can do is just I'm going to drag it and just give it more time because I want to hold it a bit. Yeah, something like that. I want to hold it a bit before it goes back in. Something like this. Yeah, I think that's enough. So once we have that, I want to bring back our big text. I want to bring it back in. So what I can do is here I'm going to key in our position and come to a bit like maybe 30 frames, come to like 30 frames or a bit more. And I'm just going to copy key here in idle. So to maintain uniform, just going to copy the it's this keyframe that I'm copying here because that's the actual keyframe. I'm going to paste it here and bring it back in. So we have something like this. Something like this. So what we just need to do now is we need to make um our dollar coin to show back here. So we've already made it disappeared already. So we have to make it appear back. I'm going to come here. Yeah, I'm going to come here and drag our icon back to, or I just to keep it uniform, I'm going to copy it here. I'm going to copy the position. Oh, I did not keep the position here. So I'm just going to copy this frame. I'm going to copy this one and paste it here. Yeah, something like that. And I want it to appear back because we don't make them disappear. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to click on the icon itself and go back and go to our trim path again. Key in our end and come to maybe 50 frame, turn it back on, and we have something like this. Should have something like this. You guys can see that it was moving, and that's not what we want. Like, I don't want it to move while 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 it was disappearing. Like, I don't want it to move. It shows. So what I can do is I'm going to take out the interpolation. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to hold it. Sorry, I'm going to hold it so this way it doesn't jump, like it doesn't show the motion, like it doesn't show the movements. You just hold it till it gets to another point of it, another key point of this, another key point. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So we have something like this, and here we have our button ready. So I'm going to add interpolations to our first keyframes. I'm going to add interpolations to it so it can it can feel more alive. So we have something like this. Something like this. And we can use this, and so now we can jump to oh, okay. So now we can move to state machine where we have to connect everything together and set it up to when users click or when users over, when those this all these timelines that we have, how it will work. This is where we set them up. So first thing I'm going to do is drag our idle. I'm going to connect it to entry because any animation that you do is going to start from here, from this entry to any animations that you have, any timeline that you have, or that you first display or you present. So I want it to be from entry to idle because it's going to hold in idle. So once our users interact with our button, we want it to jump from idle to over, and we can achieve this with input. And we have number input, we have boolean, we have trigger, like just straight up and happen. So but at this point we are going to use boolean. So boolean is truth or false. This is not going to be new to us from Figma. So this is like true or false. So I'm going to call this over. It's over. I'm just going to call it it's over. So I'm going to click on this arrow icon, and come here, come and click on this plus icon. It's going to bring out this simple illustration, like it's going to tell you that if. So I'm going to click on this our output. I'm going to choose our input. If over is true, that's what it's trying to say, like if over is true, if is over is true, now you can jump to over, which means like when I check our over, you guys can see it jumps to our over, and if I uncheck it, it doesn't go back because I still need me to tell it that okay, you have to go back when this happens. So I'm going to drag this and connect it back to idle, and click on it and do the same thing and say when it's over it's false, like when I turn it off, it should go back to idle, and now it should work. So it's over. something like this. So, and that is done. But if you guys can see, this happens like ASAP. It just happens just like that, and we don't want that. You know, we not be robots. We want it sleek. We want it to feel alive. So to for that to happen, I'm just going to over on the two arrows and give it a duration. This duration will not be known to people to us using Figma too. Figma, because if you are going to animate on Figma, you need to add durations, you need to add even interpolations, you need to add ease in and out. So this is just like our interpolation is ease in and out. So you just sit that way. And I'm just going to add maybe 250 milliseconds. I think it should be better now. Yes. So it feels more alive. I can still make it, I can add interpolations to it as well. If I still want it to, I'll still make, you guys can see it happens very fast at the beginning, slow at the end. That's the effect of the interpolation. So it happens slowly in the beginning, sorry, and happen fast at the end. So something like this. So we have that. I'm going to, let's just continue. So I'm going to drag in our loading and connect it from over to loading. So for that, we need to click, right? We need to click on our on our button for our loading to happen. So you will need a trigger for that, because we want it clicked and happens immediately. So I'm going to call this is clicked. It's clicked. Reason why I'm giving this input a names that I can easily remember is if you are doing, maybe if you want to use it on your web, these are the inputs that you are going to be, that your developers are going to be interacting with. So they are going to ask, or maybe just to make it easier, it's better you name your inputs names that you yourself can remember easily. So it will be easier for developers to actually work with your file. But if you are importing it to Framer, you are still going to need it. So something like that. Something like that. If there is time, I can show you guys how we can integrate it in Framer, but if there is no time, that will be next time. So I'm going to come to this plus arrow. I'm going to do the same thing. If it's clicked, like it's clicked. If it's clicked, please jump to loading. So let's see what's going to happen. So if I check, click, you guys can see it jumps straight. As I clicked on it, it jumps straight to loading. So, and that's what we want. But we need to add more like duration, so it can be sleek, because it happens so fast. It happens immediately, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to add maybe 250 milliseconds as well, or 300. Let's just see. So if I click, and you guys can see Rive added our transitions, like our animations. When I drag that stuff down, and Rive that done that for us, which we don't even need to animate it. You don't need to add that. So that's one thing that Rive handles for you. He handles some movements that you've already tampered with in your timeline. So it's added, it's going to add it in your state machine. Something like that. So let's have picked. I'm going to connect this to picked, and for that we need a trigger. I guess let me just use a trigger, because this is going to be happening at the back end. That is if when your transaction is successful, then you can jump to paid. And we are just going to call this paid. Paid. So I'm going to connect it to if it's paid, jump to paid. So let's see. So if I click and it's loading, and it's paid, let's jump straight to this. That's what we want. So for it to happen back and forth, like to keep happening, we have to take it back to idle. It has to go back to idle. So for idle, we don't need any transitions, like we don't need any inputs. What we just need is an exit time, like when our paid animation finished, go back to idle. So to achieve that, to tell our transitions that we have to come to exit time. It, the English way they use for here don't talk am already, like exit. So we are going to give it an exit time instead of us to check how many minutes we use here in our loading, or is it paid? Yes, we just need to, you can just give it 100%, because this is milliseconds, it's a millisecond, but if you give it 100%, it's going to, until this animation is done, before you can go to idle. And we have this. Let's see what we have. It's going to be load paid, and you guys will see jump. It's supposed to jump back to idle, but it's because I'm still checking. That's why it jumps from idle straight to over. So
Austin.
boss, it's like time. I'm God. But can I still feel continue now? I'm almost
Yeah.
done.
We'll just give it like 7:15 so that you just. I mean,
Okay.
the thing is still far.
No. I'm almost done.
All right then.
All right, thanks. So what I'm just going to show you guys is how to make it interactive with our mouse, like interact with it in real life, like in real time. Sorry. So to achieve that, I'm going to click on our layer, on our background layer, like our button. So I'm going to click on this plus icon to, so what this does is, listeners, like what it means is, it's now my mouse will be listening to this layer, which means anything that I try to tell this now is going to react to my it's going to react based on how my mouse is reacting with it. So for me to make that explanation more easier, so if you come here, you guys will see pointer enter. We have a lot. We have pointer exit, we have pointer down, we have pointer up, pointer move click. So at this case, we want it over. So we are going to say when my mouse enter, my pointer enters this arena, I'm going to take this one out. So I'm going to align inputs. I'm going to use input change. So I'm going to say let it be over. So it's going to be over. Like, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm trying to. So you guys will see the magic now. When my mouse enters, it overs. But now it can't, it's stopped, because I have to tell it again that when my pointers is out of this arena, it has to go back to idle. Or it has to go back, it has to do another animation, something like that. So I'm going to duplicate this one. Just going to duplicate it and call this over out. Call this over in. Over in. So this one, I'm just going to change our pointer to pointer exit and change our over to false. So now it should work. So now if I over in, my pointer is out. Something like this. So I'm going to do the same to our click as well. I'm still going to use our button stuff as well. So I'm going to call this loading or anything. I just call it anything. So I'm going to see when it's clicked. Let's take this out. Say when it's clicked. When it's clicked. When this is clicked, it should jump to loading. So if I click now, it's going to jump to loading. And once the transaction is done, then it jumps back to our idle. So that's it. So that's it. That's just like that's just basic of what Rive can do. And it's not is this is not just like I'm trying to show you guys how to become Rive Pro in just 1 hour, but I'm just trying to show you guys the possibilities of Rive, like why you need Rive in your designs, how it can be a plus to you as a designer. And if you want to keep learning or you want to keep exploring, I myself I'm exploring it, and you can follow me on my YouTube channel, because I'll be dropping more tutorials and projects and behind the scenes of how I use Rive. So, and if you want to, you can reach out to me too if you are curious or if you have questions or something like that. So yeah, that's it for this. And I hope you guys gain one or two, even though it's short and snappy. So that's it. Brother apps, I'm done.